Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War Stone Dead event, in which the Stone Zombie is added to the game. So this week ends up bringing in a lot of concluding events to Gems of War. Of course, last week we had the end of the Legends Reborn. This week we have the end of the Campaign Pass for that of Hellcrag, as well as the end of the current campaign. So do make sure to finish those up if you still have anything to do on them. So let's start getting into the zombie itself here. So of course this is a new Hellcrag troop, comes in with a bunch of blue, brown, arcanes if you need it. Overall, it's a pretty underwhelming troop and doesn't really end up doing much. Ends up converting 4 stone blocks to either good or evil gargoyle gems, then explodes a gem. There's going to be a lot of battles where there's just no stone blocks at all, meaning it's going to get little to no value, and even if there are stone blocks, you're probably not going to be bothering to use this in that situation. He does have 50% score reduction, but pretty much every construct these days feels like it has it, so not really anything unique to him. And overall, it's just going to be a troop you never really use. I guess it's kind of unique that he's a construct undead, though there really isn't any viability to him being so he's pretty much just going to be unused for kingdom upgrading purposes. Unfortunately, Hellcrag is going to be 1 upgrade short of getting that extra stat at 10. Of course, whenever we get 10, we do get that extra stat point there. However, while we are getting 19 total troops, because we're getting 1 more this Friday for Bounty Hunter, that 19 will not be enough to get that final one. So hopefully we'll have an event soon. I know with something like Nexus, it took 7 months after the campaign, when it finally ended the campaign pass, for us to finally get another event again. Hopefully it doesn't take that long for Hellcrag, though it is probably next year, realistically, by the time we get another Hellcrag event. Hopefully early next year rather than later next year. Kind of like what ended up happening to Nexus when it first came out. So it could be a while before then, but hopefully we'll get it soon, as we're going to be 1 short due to the Bounty Hunter troop this Friday. Anyways, we do have a lot of events going on. Actually, before we do, event queue drop table. It's still very strange, so let's go over it real quick. So this is where I was talking about where you would be able to get the Mythic again if you happen to not have it. So if we end up bringing up Hellcrag here, and if I'm not mistaken, we should be able to see every single option here. None is unowned this time. And if we do it by base rarity, just for easier sorting purposes, of course, the Mythic is actually in the drop table. So you can end up getting it there. However, there are several things that are not in the drop table. These include the Tower, which is only from the paid Kingdom Pass, which is still available, of course, to finish out this week, and then it will end. So you still have the Tower, which is not in drop table, Zenith, which is not in drop table, the Adikite, which is not in drop table. We have the 4 faction troops from the Obsidian Deaths, which is not in drop table. And that is everything. So the 4 Obsidian Death troops. Oh, sorry. There's actually 2 others. I forgot the other 2 that are in Pass 2. Actually, still wouldn't be. So, oh gosh, there's so many. So it is. I wish I would show it better in game, but it's the Tower, Zenith, Adikite, Eternal Sentinel, Nabasu, and the 4 faction troops. So everything that isn't those is in the drop table. Everything else is not in the drop table. So things that are in the drop table then is Torbaline, the Chernobog, the Chalcedony, the Herald of Torpor, the Craghound, the Petrahulk, the Petrified Golem, the Stone Zombie, which is also available for Glory, of course, and the Hellstone Gate. So that is the full list of what is and what isn't. A little confusing, but long story short, if it came out through an event, like through the pass, or it's from the faction, it is not in drop table, whereas everything else is. Anyways, so let's go and head over now to our guild related events. So if we go over to our so we have Guild Wars this week, so definitely make sure to set all your defend teams. I'll probably be messing with some Geomancer, as this is the first full week where we have access to Geomancer. Geomancer was available for the last 3 days of the previous Guild War. However, one of those days that wasn't available on PC Mobile was Brown, which is probably one of the days you would really want to try to run it. So I'll probably mess with it on like Brown Day, maybe Purple Day. There's quite a few teams we can kind of mess around with, so see what we can do with a full Geomancer week now that we have access to all the color days, unlike the previous time. Yeah, pretty standard Guild Wars, make sure to set unique teams, all that, and make sure to use pure color on every single day. So as far as our other events, it is, of course, the last Ward event that we have. For this current campaign, then we're going to be having a Tower of Doom next week. So as far as this event, you may notice that every single battle is the exact same as far as pointing. However, they're kind of not, like as far as rarity. So the way that this works is they all start at the same exact amount of points. However, there is a increase over time, where every single time you end up taking the same room, it'll end up giving you more points towards that. So basically, the way that you'd want to do this is take whatever one you see appearing the most. So in our case right here, I'm not sure if this is the same start for everyone, I'm pretty sure it's random. However, in my case right here, we can see that the only one we have more than one of is the Toxic Medusa. So this would mean I would want to go and take the 2 Toxic Medusas and then decide from there. Basically, you want to keep taking the same rooms as much as you possibly can. So you can either just have one that you just never want to take, like let's say we just never want to take Dark Medusa. We can just click on whatever and just not take Dark Medusa, or you can simply just keep seeing what's kind of appearing the most, see what's going up in level, and then start prioritizing those. As the more you do of the same battle, you get more points for. But all of them start at the same base amount of points. So a little bit of a weirder event for once. However, all start at base amount of points, but whatever ones you do the most was the ones you're going to get the most for. One other way that you can kind of do it is do it based on which ones are easier, unless you're going for super high on the leaderboard. I think that's not going to really matter too much, as with your small amount of tiers, pretty much all of them stay at the relatively easy area. Anyways, that's the reward event. We do have access to Hellcrag, so quite a few fun Hellcrag teams we get to end it out with. Basically utilizing everything that we have. Obviously, Champaign being one of the most useful options that we can end up utilizing for that, so definitely a good idea to do so. And of course, the rewards and everything else still the same. No unique anything here this time around, unlike the other week. Anyways, as far as events that we have going on throughout the week, this Tuesday we're going to be having the Hellcrag faction. Keep in mind, this is probably the last Hellcrag event we're going to have for a while, so last time to end up stocking up on a lot of things related to Hellcrag. Before it won't come back for months upon months. It took 7 months for Nexus specifically. So we have Obsidian Depths on Tuesday, the Hellcrag faction, obviously everything associated to Hellcrag. We got the Construct bonus on Wednesday, which this one already released, however we get more copies of it. Thursday we have ourselves the Geomancer hero class, so if you still haven't gotten that to level 100, time to get a little bit more XP on it. Really good hero class. Not the absolute best, but it's pretty much required for any pure Construct team, and there are quite a few decent ones out there. And as you can see by this thing over here, we do a bounty hunter this Friday, and that will be finally bringing in that one Zfoot, or whatever he's called. You've probably already seen him off of Chalcedon and a few other troops. They have a 25% chance to summon him. However, he doesn't actually exist as a troop until this Friday. So you'll be able to get him and then upgrade him. He basically just creates a gargoyle gem off auto extra turn while poisoning some. Overall, pretty underwhelming option that you're not really going to be using, especially compared to that yellow-purple Sentinel. They can create 3 of them off extra turn while also freezing. So comparative to that, there's almost no reason to use this thing. However, you still kind of want to upgrade it because he does get summoned whenever Chalcedon dies 25% of the time, and a few other niche instances like that. I think the Mythic even does it, oddly enough, and some other troops might get in the future for the Kingdom, so definitely worth upgrading it, plus you need it for Bounty Hunter anyways. But overall, pretty standard bounty event. You're just going to run some kind of Tagraki team, however you want to run that, and just have that probably all the way in last slots, pretty much doing nothing. Though you'll be able to get some gargoyle effects down, if nothing else, to kind of speed it up, or have it backfire, though generally won't backfire due to auto extra turn. So as far as Soulforge this week, not too much going on with Soulforge. It's a pretty skippable week. As far as Legends, Mythics, they're pretty much all skippable. Nothing really too enticing unless you just happen to need them for completion's sake, for your Kingdom upgrades, or just happen to want them. Though nothing really particularly viable in that regard. And as far as weapons, also not too much here, it's just the Hellcrag stuff, though do keep in mind, it could be a while before we see another Hellcrag event. So if you do want to pick these up just for completion's sake, or if you need them for Kingdom Star, I can't remember how many weapons you may have needed for one of the tiers, but if you're a little bit short, you can get them here. So do be mindful of that. However, otherwise, there's not much here as far as crafting is concerned. So pretty dull Soulforge. However, we do have the conclusion of other events. So do be mindful the Kingdom Pass and the Season Pass both conclude. The Kingdom Pass for the Hellcrag and the current season just in general. That has the Medusa in it. So do be mindful, even if you're on free-to-play, you still want to do this. You can get 10 crowns per day. You can still do the 100 gem skip, which is fun. Doesn't show here because we already did them all. However, you do want to make sure you get these. So what ended up happening last time we had a Kingdom Pass, there's only been one other time, Nexus. The weapon on the free side, this one right here, the Ruby Bitter, became a $5 money-locked weapon. Every single kingdom has this. However, how the $5 money-locked weapons work is they were all available for free-to-play at one point, and then became $5 money-locked, and I am almost guarantee, given how it worked last time, that the Ruby Bitter will be the same thing. So if you are free-to-play, definitely make sure to finish out this pass, even though the rewards might seem kind of average for the most part leading up to it. You will not be able to get this weapon into the future if you're playing 100% free-to-play, so do make sure to get it. It's not that useful. There's pretty much no instance you're really going to be using it compared to Rope Dart. However, it's still a weapon nonetheless. Aside from that, if you did pay for the pass, definitely make sure to go get your Zenith. Very, very powerful troop. We covered a video on it the other week on Thursday when it was first available. Actually, I think we covered it a little bit later, but it was available on Thursday if you didn't skip any tiers. Technically, it's been available for about 4 weeks now if you did skip a bunch of tiers. But yeah, very strong troop. Definitely worth utilizing. It does have to be completely built around, but still really good. And of course, if you still want to, if you did do the paid pass, you can still get these extended rewards. You get some orbs, some gem keys, some bulk keys. You only get those if you do the extended, though. The free side doesn't get it, though. You're not really missing out much. Pretty average rewards, but still better than nothing. If you're already playing the game, you can get those crowns pretty passively just by doing explore to any capacity. Anyways, aside from that, of course, we have the other campaign pass, which is concluding. I'm pretty sure the tasks for these are as messed up as they've ever been. I would not be doubtful. This tends to happen whenever there's a new kingdom. Whatever their auto system is gets completely confused and does not know what to set. So I'm pretty sure it's telling us to do like 5 tasks of the same in a row or something absurd like that. So just repick if you need to, as I have a feeling we will to finish this out. However, once you do finish those out, if you have paid side, you do get Medusa. So Medusa, I still haven't covered a video on this yet. We'll cover that probably later today. She was available for about a week now. If you have the super paid pass, you had her since last week. If you have normal paid pass, you can get her today after doing the whatever on earth the mess is that is the task system today. And if you're free to play, you'll probably be able to get it in a couple months from now. Either when you get it from a random drop table when it's in drop table, or realistically from event keys when it's Mrs. Scales, or when it is what's the other one? In Soulforge. When it comes out in probably by the end of this year, either by the end of this year or very, very early next year, you'll be able to Soulforge for it. Though overall, it's a pretty average troop, but one's still worth covering, as it does have a unique curse stun mechanic that can be utilized from time to time. Anyways, with that all being said, let's go over the teams for the week. Not covering the bounty hunter here, since we don't have the other troop. However, we are covering everything else for the week here. So as far as the world events, we have access to basically the entirety of Hellcrag, and by basically I mean literally the entirety of Hellcrag. So obviously one of the go-to things is going to be centering around Chalcedony in any way that you want to. Chernobog is generally pretty good for the Brownstorm as well, and that's essentially what this team is built around. If you end up getting the Watchful Blade or want to get it from Soulforge, you can still end up doing that. Ends up creating a bunch of red and brown and boost based on Hellcrag, and guess what? Your whole team has to be Hellcrag anyways, so you're going to be getting that benefit from the weapon. Alternatively, there's a much cheaper team. You literally just build around Chalcedony and win that way. It does a bunch of damage, creates a bunch of browns, and you'll be good to go. You just keep spamming Chalcedony until you end up winning, getting all your browns. We're actually using this for the Brownstorm, just to be able to get a Brownstorm down. It's just a cheaper option. You get it from 250 wins on the Geomancer Hero Quest, if you've probably already done, which is like a cheaper alternative to getting a Brownstorm. You could use a different weapon there if you so choose, but it's just for the Brownstorm there, and it just is a Zenith to kind of hold down the line for damage. And if you don't have Zenith, I probably shouldn't have put Zenith in a low team now that I think about it. I just kind of had it here for a damage burst, but you can literally just put a third Chalcedony. I think I already showed that for something else, like 3 Chalcedonis with a weapon. I think I showed that for the Thursday. I didn't kind of want to repeat it here, but now that I think about it, Zenith technically isn't low. It is actually money locked. Though otherwise it's kind of easy to get. Anyways, next we have a double Chalcedony team, which is pretty much a theme. Like, you can literally just spam a billion Chalcedonis and you'll be fine for pretty much every event this week, for the most part, except for Friday. Friday you do have to build a different team for Bounty Hunter, but every other day you can pretty much just get away with an entire team of Chalcedony. Anyways, for the brown-purple faction of Obsidian Deaths, we have a double Chalcedony into Doom Club into Leprechaun for the lower end. You can replace this with any weapon. This is just used for damage burst. You can do Black Manacle. You can do whatever else you want that can utilize the brown for some damage pressure. Here we have a pretty standard Hiking Iron Good Zugoff, as we do have access to brown-purple, meaning we have access to pretty much the meta of metas for the Underworld. For Pure Faction, you basically just use a Dark Golem with 3 Obsidiaxes. You can do 4 Obsidiaxes. The only problem with that is you're going to get a little bit bottlenecked on how many evil gems are on the board. So you normally want to use 1 Dark Golem. There's 2 benefits to this. One is he has 50% score reduction. The other one is that he's the only thing in the entire faction that has Explode or Destroy in any way, shape, or form. And you kind of need this in order to go and trigger all of the evil gems that you're going to be creating. Realistically, with 3 of them, you're probably going to get on average 1 per turn, especially with the enemy also doing a 30% itself. So realistically, you're going to be getting about 1 per turn or so, roughly. Definitely 1 every other turn or so. And he'll be able to go explode that, get some value from it, and make it so the board isn't like a billion evil gargoyle gems, because that could end up happening if you don't have any way to destroy them out. You'll have like 30 on the board. It'll get bottlenecked, everything will get mana drained, the whole board will clear. So it's just good to have 1 single option for it, and he helps you tank to make sure you have 4 going into the final battle. And aside from that, you can also use this for the event. So if you want a cheaper team, you can kind of do this for the world event as well. But it's a double Chalcedony into Black Manacle into the Chernobog here. Chernobog being slightly higher rarity, though. Once again, you could just replace that out with, once again, another Chalcedony. to just kind of hold it down the team. But this is kind of just a double Chalcedony. Not all-in mana accumulation, as you generally want that earlier damage burst compared to some of the other modes, as unless you're going for super deep leaderboard, and if you're just going for the 25 gems, you really don't need that much damage, so I end up clearing through them, so we have it set up in this weird order, but ends up working out for the specific game mode. And that's pretty much everything. And we'll cover our Medusa team a little bit later, but I've been messing around with Medusa over the last week, and I just kind of want to go over a couple teams, but I will be in a separate video, hopefully later today. Anyways, guys, if you still have any other questions, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. Best of luck completing out all the events. Definitely make sure to do so, as this is basically the last week to get all the last little bit of grind in of whatever you haven't done. Of course, the first Legends Reborn already ended, but everything else that's still going on is now concluding at the end of this week. And then next week we'll have just a standard Tower of Doom. One other thing I haven't mentioned yet, which could happen, we could be getting a Tuesday patch. Either this Tuesday or next week's Tuesday. Which Tuesday it is still in question. However, keep in mind this Tuesday might be a patch, so I'll be going over that as well. And if it's not this Tuesday, it is almost 100% next week's Tuesday, so we'll have to wait and see. We won't really know until this Tuesday which one it is. If it doesn't happen this Tuesday, well, it's the following Tuesday then. But we'll find out on that soon as far as the next, I believe, 6.5 patch. I believe it's called the Dragon's Path. What exactly it is, I have no clue, but we'll find out then. Anyways, guys, have a wonderful week. We'll catch you guys later. Goodbye, everyone, and thanks for watching.